The Incredible Hulk will not be presented this evening.
Damn, damn, damn!
All right, welcome everybody. There's Krellbach snoozing away. He woke up. Yeah.
The intro over?
It is, yes. All right. Welcome everybody. Everybody in the chat, welcome. Now, Matt was ill last week, and I think the week before just wasn't the right time. But Matt, do you know Jim?
I don't believe so.
Jim used to work out at Gold's. I met Jim through the Barbarian Brothers years ago. He used to work for me at West LA. But anyways, okay. Jim, that's Matt. Matt, that's Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Nice to meet
I'm
you,
sure
Matt.
you crossed paths many times in the gym and probably just didn't realize it.
Are you still in LA?
Cross streams. Yep.
You're still in LA? Okay. Yeah, I worked there from January 99 or February 99 till like May of 2002.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he was there during that time.
Did you used to do jujitsu?
Yeah. I did from like about that same year, about 22 until like pretty much I left. But yeah.
Yeah, I remember you.
Oh, okay. Cool.
You had a brown belt last time I saw you at West LA Music.
Yeah, that was probably, well, I got the black in 2008.
2006.
Okay, it was 2006.
It was in 2006, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Cool.
That's
man.
so weird. Me and Bingham also had black belts around that time. They held up our pants.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I still have a black belt.
Anyways, let me go around the horn. Bingham, good to see you.
Hey, everyone.
Krellbach, nice to see you.
I've got brown underwear.
All right, excellent. Nice to know. Matt, good to see you.
Good to be back. Thanks.
Jimmy Fine, welcome. Or as we like to say, Jukebox
back.
Jimmy. Yeah, so and I don't know where Joe should be coming. At least I expected him here. He said he'd be here, but we'll see. How was the golf round today? Just so you gentlemen know, Bingham was went to run a golf with RL today.
I was hanging with RL. This is true.
How was it? Did you play 9 or 18?
18.
Wow.
Oh, it was great. It was so much. It was a lot of fun. We both played terrible, but it didn't matter. I think both of us are trying to like get back into it because I haven't played much. I've played like twice in the last 3 months.
Right.
So yeah, we're trying to get back into it. But it's good to see RL. Your brother's looking svelte.
Yeah, he's losing the weight.
Yeah,
My brother, by the way, went on carnivore. He came out and visited, and I told him this would happen. I said, because I've been trying to get him on the diet. And he was like, yeah, I'll do this, I'll do that. I'd probably go on the diet. I said, when you see me, you're going to go on the diet. And so he saw me and goes, fuck. Now I got to go on the diet.
Yeah.
So he went home, went back on the diet the next day. Bingham sees him a week later, and you were like, wow, he got lean.
Yeah, it was noticeable.
Yeah.
Well, he was telling me, not to spill too many numbers here because nobody knows what he looks like, but he was telling me that like during the pandemic, during like 2020, he was like upwards almost like 250.
Yeah.
And right now he's like under 220.
Yeah.
But you have to remember that the most time I was spending with him was when we were playing a lot of golf, and that was all like 2021.
Yeah.
So he was considerably bigger. And I don't know how much he's lost on the carnivore diet, but I know that he'd slimmed down some previously to starting carnivore, and now this has just kicked it into another gear, so to say. But
totally.
Killer. I'm just out there with him today and like laughing because I'm just like, fuck, you look like a totally different guy.
And now, Bingham, you are what, 1 week?
Yeah. Yeah, so today actually is like the 1 week of stepping it up from straight keto into carnivore.
Right.
Yeah.
And Matt, how long have you been on it?
So easy.
Since last November.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're right with me. We're at 10 months. Like you're probably just shy of 10 months, and I'm a little old. I started November 5th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was.
I think you were like a few weeks behind me.
Yeah, I was a couple of weeks after you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, we're at 10 months, and I feel effing great. And you're lean. You're like what, 170?
174 at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm like 183. But yeah,
it's
a much
I don't think I've
different-
ever seen Matt Cable fat though.
No,
Yeah.
but he was in the 190s, I think. Back
Well,
in the
I
Bulls days.
when I moved here, when I moved to Florida, I was about 205.
Wow.
But I wasn't really fat or anything. I mean, I just
Right.
You're tall. You kind of
Yeah, how tall are
Yeah.
you, Matt?
6'2".
I'm 6'3" now. I used to be 6'5", but I got down to like 190,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't.
So Artemis
looking
is
too healthy.
asking about True Tone and Rainbow guitars. I don't know Rainbow guitars, but I believe that True Tone came from the ashes of Ace Guitar, if I'm not mistaken. Do you guys remember Ace Guitar on Santa Monica Boulevard? It was a little further up, or is it Wilshire? There was an Ace Guitar, and I believe, what's his name that sold it to Senior?
Ken
I
Daniels.
don't know why. Ken. I believe Ken came out of Ace.
Okay.
I believe that was his shop.
Yeah. That's
Like that,
before
he
my
came out
before
of-
my time in LA.
Yeah. Yeah. It literally Ace was closing when I first moved there.
Oh,
But
okay.
but yeah, that's where True Tone comes from. And True Tone's it's on Santa Monica, just west of Lincoln Boulevard. So it's like between 7th and Lincoln.
Not for
which
long.
is not.
They're moving.
Are they moving?
Yeah, he already made an announcement that they're moving.
Where to?
It's
Oh, good. I hated that area.
It's close to there, but he's moving to a building where he's got his own parking lot now, which is great.
Nice.
So
yeah,
I
I
don't remember exactly what the streets are. It's Broadway and something. So, but it's further east, so I think it's a
Right,
couple
of
blocks
course.
east.
Yeah, like Broadway and 12th or something.
Yeah, something
or
like that.
14th, where they have spaces for it. But yeah,
Yeah.
where it is now, it's like when you're walking in, the fucking blue bus is going to hit you every time.
Well, yeah, and he's also right in the looting zone there, where if you you're too close to
Right.
the
The
promenade.
blue bus is calling us. Driver, where are you take? Isn't that mental when you think about it? That the blue bus that Jim Morrison is singing about was the fucking Santa Monica blue bus.
you had that back then.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And you've seen the mural on the building in Venice? That's where he lived. That was his apartment when he joined the Doors.
Which place?
Like
The one with the big
Oh,
painting of him on the side, right?
big painting on the side of the building of Jim Morrison,
Where is that?
right like by
It's like
Horizon
right on Speedway.
and Oceanfront Walk. Yeah,
Oh,
Speedway.
okay.
You're right. Sorry, Speedway. It's actually between Speedway and Oceanfront Walk.
Yeah,
No,
it's actually it's right off the beach.
I think it's one block
Literally.
in. I think you're right. It's Speedway between Speedway and Main Street.
Yeah, but it's like right in the alleyway.
Well,
though,
Pacific,
pretty much, in
between Speedway and Pacific.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it turns
Yep.
into Pacific over there. Yeah. Yeah, there's a big mural of him there, and supposedly that's where he lived when they formed.
Hmm.
But anyways, the blue bus is calling you. Do you guys remember the Tide? Do you remember the Tide bus?
Yeah.
They made it 25 cents so the homeless wouldn't go on it because they're sitting there. Unbelievable.
Seems like that would make the homeless. It's only a quarter.
No, because it used to be free.
Ah.
And so then it was just them taking rides to the promenade and going up and down Main Street. I'm gonna keep warm in the fucking short bus today. Whatever that bus. What was that bus called? The Tide. The Tide.
Got me.
But yeah, so did you
Remember
see
that?
did you see Bingham? First of all, most of the time in the chat, me, Bingham, and Ryan have a personal chat on Facebook. And I will say that most of the time it's Bingham and Ryan who are engaged in the music talk. Would you agree, Bingham?
Lately, I would suggest that it's just Ryan sending us an endless stream of dumb memes.
Okay, so as long as we are aware of that. I'm not engaging, so I'm assuming it must be you.
No.
I can't stand, but then today he sends the one with a guy, it's like a gear page thing where the guy's talking about like the reason the maple cap on the Les Paul is for clarity.
Going to it now. I didn't even look at it.
And this is like
oh yeah. Well, he's just trying to make you happy because this is all.
Yeah. I mean, anyways, guys, it reminds me of a story. These people that write in the gear page remind me of a vegetarian and a vegan jump off a cliff to see who could land first and get killed. Who wins?
Society.
And the answer is society. Exactly, Bingham.
I like that.
Society wins. It's a great one. But anyways, yeah, I mean, these people with the gear page, it's so annoying. And I don't know if you guys watch Psionic?
Psionic, he does like amp repair and stuff, right?
Yes, he does.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I have seen his stuff.
He's
really good.
He's rapidly going on my annoying list.
Oh, okay.
Just, because all these repair guys, they open up an amp and they're like, I don't know who looked at this amp, but it's like, this is not the right way to do this, just because this. And well, let's hear what the other guy had to say. I'm sure there's a side argument for that because I hear them and they're always shitting on another guy's work. But then it's like, well, if you buy this Fender amp, you got to do this, you got to do that. I mean, I'm not saying you have to do it, but it's like, all right, we get it. Like, you're talking about this Fender amp. Meanwhile, fucking Rick Hayes is building it from scratch, all components, perfect. Just buy it, and it's under $2,000. So fuck you, fuck your channel. Stop working on the fucking shit that you're just getting hits with. It's like, oh. Meanwhile, my channel's been buzzing. Like
I tried to watch some of his stuff. It didn't work. It didn't land for me.
No, it doesn't.
First of all, I don't like his ear. I'm watching all this stuff because I'm trying to learn how to build it. And he's like, here's a simple amp that you can build that sounds great and yada, yada, yada. And so I'm like, oh, okay, let me go to the end and see what it sounds like before I commit to watching it. And it sounded like shit. It was just the worst sounding.
I don't like his ear either.
I'm like, forget it. I'm not going to watch that video.
Yeah. You know what I don't like? I don't like when people make comments of a amp being too bright. I don't like that comment. Because if you go and it's like when you go to record people and like, let's say you take a Marshall. And Marshalls are pretty bright, but most people play them fully in the mid-range where it's that sound. Then you're recording it with a 57, which is completely devoiding that mid-range sound. And then you're EQing it to put it into the mix, which again is you're brightening it. And you go on YouTube and go look up any isolated guitar track, and you're going to be like, fuck, that's bright.
Right.
Yeah. And you know how much work it took to get it to there? Because the guy didn't just play it bright from Jump Street. If you're going to be in the mix, it's got to be bright. But these guys, and when I hear people playing Marshalls, I'm always like, you better not sound like that with a band because it's going to get lost. You know what I mean? It's like all that mid-range woofy. And all those amp guys love that stuff. It's like, well, that's why you're an amp guy. And Larry Carlton's Larry Carlton playing on the records. Larry Carlton, Louis Shelton, all these guys sit there and say, I fucking play a Princeton dimed. How'd you get that great tone? It's a Princeton dimed. It's just fucking all out screaming. People sit there and tell you, that's the most brittle skit. Yeah, it is. Cuts through a mix. Sounds great. What are you saying, Krellbar, about Slash
Well,
a stone.
if you,
I
if
like how you
listen to-
comment on what I'm saying in the chat, like it's a chat
Well, I
conversation.
do because you're in the middle of the conversation. I don't want to.
Yeah, well, just write it down and then talk about it so we can talk
I don't
about it
want it
here.
to
I
be a
just happen to look at the
non-sequitur.
chat.
You know, sometimes the conversation goes on for 5 minutes, and I bring it up, and it's like, that was 5 fucking minutes ago. Where were you?
That's right.
Oh, well, as long as you recognize that.
I passed out. Now I'm awake. I wanted to talk about
Then
that thing.
you play the airplane clip. It's like,
Oh, right. I haven't played that in a
Sounds
while.
like
Don't tempt me.
shit on Welcome to the Jungle isolated tracks.
He's looking for it right now.
Yeah, what does it say? It sits
Yeah.
in the. Oh, when you're saying
yeah,
welcome
if
to the
you listen
jungle,
to
the
isolated track, it's thin, it's brittle. But
all
when you listen to
guitarists
Welcome
you
to-
have to
yeah,
because you're putting it into a mix.
exactly. That's
And if
I
you
just
sit there
use
and
that
you
as an
do it-
example.
No, absolutely. You wouldn't hear the vocal. You're fighting for frequency. People don't realize this. People used to come see my band play, and they'd always come up to me and say, "Man, your guitar's really bright." I'm like, "Yeah." And then the band plays, and they come up and they're like, "Man, that sounded just like the record." Yeah, and we're not screaming loud, and I'm in the mix because that's where it really sits in the mix. It's not sitting in that. And I'll tell you, when you hear records where the mixer is mixing the way what I think guitar players hear things, they're never successful records. Like, I'm a big Michael Schenker Group fan. I love MSG, but the way the guitar sits on those records, they don't sit good. And it actually sounds like early Judas Priest. And when Judas Priest started separating that sound was obviously Unleashed in the East. But British Steel is like, here's what the amp sounds like when it's EQ'd properly in the bright zone, and everything just jumps. Huge difference between British Steel and, say, Stained Class. Anyone know who Stained Class is?
Yeah,
I'm familiar with the record.
Judas Priest, 1980.
You know what's funny
not
is
1980.
Judd Lufthouse
Not-
posted something
No, it's
on
before
Facebook today that
You
he
sure?
was posting his favorite
Yeah,
jam
80
album.
is British Steel.
British Steel's
Okay.
80. What is
That's what I was referring to.
Okay.
Stained Classes is earlier. It's
78.
Oh,
70s.
St. Yeah, that's right. British Steel. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Stained Class is 78. Anyways, Judd posted a comment about on my Facebook. He said talking about the best jam album, and it was so weird because last night I was listening to the jam. I actually watched the jam live on YouTube from 1980, and was listening to the jam, and I realized why they didn't make it in the States. Their records sound terrible. That is like the worst produced mixed band on
Who?
record.
Who?
The Jam. Remember the
Oh.
song "A Town Called Malice"? It was Paul
Yeah.
Weller, and
Yeah,
now
I
"Town
know.
Called
remember
Malice"
them.
is I think the album's called "The Gift." It's a better sounding record, but what's funny is they have an album called Extras. And if you guys ever get a chance, if you want to buy one Jam album, to me the Extras album is the best. It's all these outtakes, but
You
the
back and
recordings are great. They do a cover of "And Your Bird Can Sing." They do a cover of "Move On Up." But they have an alternate version of "Boy About Town." It's great. Anyways, I thought I'd bring that up because that's why I was listening to them yesterday going, these guys never made it in the States because the record doesn't sound that good. Like, if they had been recorded as good as the Knack, they would have been a bigger band. Bigger than the Knack, I think.
They really
They had
messed
better
up
stuff.
when they really messed up when they went to the style.
Yeah. They kicked out the style and let's bring back the jam. Yeah, the Style Council was a better
literally-
produced band.
I know nothing about it other than that line from that song.
Yeah. You guys know "Sowing the Seeds of Love."
Mm-hmm.
Tears for Fears.
Yeah.
That's when he says, "Kick out the style, bring back the jam." Paul Weller broke up the Jam and then started the Style Council, which was more like a very Motown-y sounding British band, kind of like Spandau Ballet.
Yeah.
And so they were saying, "Kick out the style, bring back the jam, sow in the seeds of," which, by the way, is a great album.
Good song too.
Great album. Yeah, Tony
Would you say
Iommi has a.
that song is very Beatles influenced.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Totally. But that record had "Women in Chains," "Advice for the
Yep.
Young at Heart" is great.
Yeah.
Just a great record altogether. Great production. I like Roland Olazabal, whatever you pronounce his last
Yeah.
name.
Who was the vocalist in Woman in Chains? The woman.
Oleta Adams.
God, she had a voice.
Yeah, it's great.
She's still alive.
What about Squeeze? What do you think about Squeeze?
I thought Glenn Telbrook was good. I like their hits, like the singles 45s and whatever. That's a good album. Of course I
Pulling
love
Muscles from
Tempted.
Michelle.
Pulling Muscles is great. Black Coffee in Bed is great. I think Tempted is great because I love Paul Carrick, and Elvis Costello sings on it. But
I didn't know that.
yeah, Elvis is the deep voice in Tempted. You know what it's like? I got my something. The second verse.
Yeah.
Ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da, but I keep on riding. That's Elvis
Oh,
Costello.
that's him.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Tuition and a well, I said to my reflection, well, me, and then Elvis comes back in again for that next line.
Mhm.
At the cop, hey now, Jan, welcome. Yeah, I mean, most of the time they're going to EQ it off, anyways, Ricky. So there's that. Now, Matt, you snuck by me with you said you were you're looking for a Les Paul next.
Yeah, I've been wanting to get one again.
Nice. Which one? Are you looking for a particular one or?
Well, I was thinking, I was checking reverb and just going and playing some. I'm getting drawn towards that fat 50s neck. So I don't know if I'm going to just go with a new one or look for a slightly used one or what I'm going to do yet. But
my suggestion would be go look for a used custom shop, either 56, 57, or 58.
Mm-hmm.
They all have the baseball bat necks that feel fantastic.
Do you like gold tops?
No. Not my thing.
That gets out the 56 and 57 out of the way. We're looking at a 58 now.
I love the 57 gold top VOS.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Love it. I love to have one of those.
Well, really, though, I don't want to go over like $3,000 on it.
Yeah,
so,
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think you would have to
$6,000 back when we were at West LA. The gold tops.
Find someone that's selling it that you know that might want to let it go for around there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, anything's possible. If you play an old Marshall loud, you must have a really good bass player with a good bass sound that compensates for you being so bright. Yeah, I mean, Marshalls are a bright amp. I mean, they're based off the Bassman, but with to me, it has a bright circuit. To me, it has a circuit that sounds tinny, like a tube screamer, which is why I always tell people.
Yeah, the circuit. The circuit's bright, and it's made brighter when you play it quiet because it has a bright cap on the volume control. So it's only for most people who never get a chance to play it with the volume control all the way open. How that works electrically speaking is it's only passing through the high tones. That's what the bright cap does. It passes the highs. So if you're listening to it, you're like, fuck, that's bright. But if you turn it all the way up, well, okay. Now it's passing everything more evenly. But you're
right.
done.
Right, yeah, Jeff.
Yeah, because Jesus. Like that amp that I made, by the way, I got a chance to play it in rehearsal finally, and it killed. It sounded great. And it didn't light on fire, which is the best part.
Nice.
But
now this is the one where you cascaded the channels.
Yep.
Okay.
So JTM.
Is that the one you tapped with the screwdriver?
I did, yes. JTM 45, which Marshall claims is more like 30 watts, which I don't buy. I think it's a lot more. But But yeah, I mean, fuck you. I couldn't even imagine playing 100-watt plexi. I know that it's only a 3 dB difference to go from 50 to 100 watts, but like, dude, this thing, I can't even with a loud drummer that plays like punk rock drums. I couldn't get this thing up past like 9 o'clock, basically.
Nice.
And it's screaming. And it's nowhere even near where saturation was on the power tubes.
What amp is this?
A JTM 45 clone that he modded.
Yeah. Yeah, so I can't, oh my God, I can't even imagine for guys that are like, oh yeah, you gotta have a loud plexi. It's like, you out of your fucking mind. What are you gonna do with it? The only thing I think you could do with a loud plexi is like if you were in a really, really weird job where your job was to drown out airplanes flying by. Like you couldn't hear nothing next to that thing. It's so loud. No jet engines. And you also wouldn't have.
Why is your mic so hot, Matt? Do you have a gain control?
I just turned it back on. I had it on mute, and I just turned it.
No,
back
I know
on.
you did. I noticed when you did, and then I was like, "Oh, your gain is way up." Can you
It's
just
like
roll
an
your
air
gain
conditioner
back?
going on.
Hmm.
Like mine just did.
Oh,
I don't
did
know.
you just
It's-
move it?
It's on where it's always at. I mean,
No, I know. Well, whatever it is, it's too hot. I'm just saying, roll it back a little bit, and we won't
well,
hear
there's
all
only
that
two
noise.
knobs.
Floor.
There's a headphone knob and a mic knob, and the mic knob is on about half.
Yeah, so just roll it back. That's just your gain.
Is that better?
Yeah,
Okay.
without the floor. Yeah, now the floor's gone.
Okay. Am I still loud enough though?
Yeah, you
Loud
sound
and
great.
clear.
Okay.
Andrew Collins says in the chat, guitar prices are coming down. I think that's accurate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm seeing that in the used market out here too. Andrew, where are you at? Just write in the comments. I'm curious.
Hey, John, I've got a question for you. I brought back, I got a little Marshall Lead 12 I had since I was like in my early 20s. It was sitting at my mom's house in Indiana for like 25 years, didn't get used. I brought it back here recently, plugged it in, and it kind of just went, and it's not working worth shit. It worked fine before. So if I were to start taking that apart, trying to figure out how to clean it up and get it working again, what would you suggest as far as like, is there any YouTube channels or something where I could learn about that? Or
Yeah, for sure. Uncle Doug is my absolute favorite.
He's great.
I'd write down Uncle Doug. There's a guy who has a website. I don't think he has a YouTube channel, but his name is Rob Robinette.
Rob,
So it's Robinette, like ROBINETTE.
oh, okay.
Robinette. His website is phenomenal. And then what's his face? DL, what's that dude's name that I like? He's the amp repair guy that gets in trouble for saying conservative sounding things.
The amp guy?
Yeah. Why can't I think of his name? He's been on your show before a few times.
Brad.
Yeah, Brad. What's his channel called?
The Guitologist.
Yeah, he's got some good stuff on his channel.
Okay.
And then, I mean, chances are with that little Marshall Lead 12. I mean, what?
Yeah, I don't know. It needs a new plug because the ground on the plug is gone. But I plugged it in and it was pretty sketchy. And I turned the gain knob and it was like, bam, it came on. But then when I turned the knob again, it just completely quit. It's like the knob wouldn't do shit now.
Yeah. Are those powered? Are those like MOSFET powered? Do you know?
I don't think so.
They're not tube, right?
No.
Yeah. I mean, even if it was tube, I would have no idea. I built one amp. I can't claim to be a repair guy. But
Oh, I know. I just didn't know.
Hey.
I didn't know if you'd been checking out any stuff that might.
Yeah, I've been kind of like steadily taking all that stuff in, but I mean, still, I haven't put it to practice. So what do I know?
More than me probably on that.
Probably not for long. You start reading in 2 weeks, you'll be right there. I have 2 weeks worth of knowledge. That's it.
Somebody wrote filter caps. What's filter caps got to do with it?
What do you mean? If your amp's not working?
I don't know. Someone just wrote Artemis Longfellow.
No. But if you're saying you turned your amp on and it's not working.
Well, it worked for like a minute, and then I like turned the gain up, and it was like, oh, it's kind of like it's working. But then when I turned it back down, it just completely quit, and now it doesn't do shit.
Did the amp power off?
No, the amp
Oh,
still
it
got
just stopped making sound.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but like I said, it was sitting. It was covered. It had the slip cover on it, but it sat in a room for over 20 years.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So the filter caps could have leaked. You might have to get it recapped. That's what he was saying.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm looking at a picture of the guts right now. It's I mean, yeah, it could be caps, but if it's MOSFETs go bad over time too.
I don't think it is.
You try hitting it with dust off or something?
Not yet. I was going to get into trying to take the guts out of it and see what I could do with it and see if I could spot anything and maybe just, spray out all the pots and everything and see if that helped.
Have you ever thought about just taking it and throwing it in the garbage?
No, because it's a great sounding little amp, and I guess they're actually kind of like worth some money now. I mean, it's
are they?
I'm sorry, what is it? Ryan Greeley was messaging the shit out of me for a minute.
It's a Marshall Lead 12. It's like I've had it.
Oh, the Lead 12. Okay, yeah. That's a solid state amp.
Yeah.
Have you thought about a dumpster fire?
Fuck you guys.
No, I know it's a good amp. It's actually it's the '80s amp, right? The Lead 12.
Exactly, and I guess
I know it.
On Reverb they fetch about $300 these days because people like them. So.
Well, then it ain't the filter caps because I don't think those things have filter caps.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's a transistor. I mean, it's a solid state amp.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah,
it's going to be a whole different animal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really don't know.
All right.
Somebody the other day, I was a video where a guy was testing a 5150, comparing it to a DSL 100 JCM 2000, comparing it to a 5150. And somebody in the comments writes, "Oh, the JCM 900 you should have done was the 4100." Meanwhile, that amp is like it's like a solid state amp. It's just got one V1 tube. John, you know now about building amps. So this amp has one V1 tube, and then it goes into a whole solid state, bunch of diodes and everything, and then out to the what is it called? That flips the
relay?
Whatever and both channels are the same way. Each one just runs off one V1 tube.
Which
V2
amp are you talking
channel
about?
The JCM 900 dual reverb.
Oh.
There is not one cascaded tube in the set. It's just one tube, and then everything else is solid state nonsense.
What's the Marshall model number for that one?
4100. Hey, Janice. Artemis is asking if the amp has reverb.
The Marshall?
Yeah.
No. I don't believe it does. No.
All right.
Schematic literally couldn't be any less impossible. Fuck. Oh, here we go. Here's a better one. I just pulled up one of the schematics for the 9100, and it's just so poorly done. You can't tell.
4100.
Yeah. What did I say?
9100.
Sorry.
It's all right because it's the JCM 900, 4100, and 4500. Look at that amp. You're gonna would you even compare that to a tube amp? It's barely a tube amp. There's a lot of op amps inside of it.
I'm looking at this schematic right now, and it's really weird because, I'm used to seeing a tube look a certain way, and it's all op amps.
It's what I said.
I for a second, I was like, oh, this can't be right. This has to be how they're drawing a tube, but it's not.
No, it goes into the tube V1, and then it goes into a whole op amp and clipping diode section, and that's it. That's your preamp. And channel 2 is the same thing. You'll see V2 has nothing to do with V1. They don't cascade. They don't communicate. They don't send a card for Christmas.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
On paper, it's the worst stamp ever.
But the one I'm looking at right now, the V1A, the plate for V1A is feeding the grid for V1B, so it's cascading
into V1B.
Yeah, V1A is going into V1B because a 12AX7 is two stages.
Right, into each side. Right, there's two heaters. No, I know that, but it's never going to it's not going to a V2. It doesn't go near V2 or V3. I don't even know if there is a V. Is there a V3 in the samp?
I see V2. Yeah, there's so much solid state shit in this. It's unbelievable.
I'm telling you, it's nuts.
Huh, that's surprising. Yeah, all I see is V2 and then V3. So there is a V3 in here, but V3 is the phase inverter.
Phase inverter. That's what I was saying. That it goes straight from V1 and V2 go direct to the phase inverter. It's like nuts.
Yeah. This is really wild because I'm looking at like the normal channel right now. Goes through all these solid state boosts and then into V1A. And then there's V1B. And then there's this switch. And I see V2A and V2B, but they look like they're totally separate.
That's
Like,
a separate channel.
One's the normal channel and one's the other side.
Yeah.
That's kind of really surprising. I didn't realize that this amp was so like solid state heavy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I try to tell people. They think I'm crazy. They're like, "No, I like it better than the 2100." I'm like, "Do your ears work?"
You have the 2100, right?
I do. Yes. Now, if you look at that schematic is basically like a 2203, and the only thing extra in it is it has a clipping diode that's on a variable switch that you can get out of the circuit, or you can even overdrive it more in lieu of, let's say, like the dual rectifier's fourth gain stage tube. This has it as a diode, but you can dial it out, and it's more like a 2203 than it is anything else.
Yeah, I mean, immediately you see the input going into the first tube stage and cascading into the second tube stage, just like an 800.
Right.
And then I'm looking at it. You're absolutely right. There's an op amp or something right there, a diode boost.
Yep.
And then
diode.
it goes, and then it hits V2B and V2A and B after that. Yeah, it looks a lot more with what I'm familiar with.
Right, and if you dial that,
with very little,
the diode out, it's basically like a wire, so it becomes the same circuit as the 2203. In fact, it's just a modified version of it, trying to keep up with the heavy metal of the 90s.
Yeah.
So it was a way that they could do it. I think I might be wrong, but I think in the later versions of the 2203 and 2204, when I say that, I mean like when they went to the horizontal instead of vertical inputs, I thought they had a clipping diode put in where before that it wasn't in, but I'm not 100% sure, but I hear people say that. So
I thought that the clipping diodes were just in the 2-channel 800s.
They will put in the later ones too. I don't think they're in the early ones.
So I think the latest ones were like in the 90s, right? Before they completely got rid of the 800 series.
No, 90 was the year of the 800 going bye-bye. So the 20.
Oh, confident in that.
Yeah. Then JCM 900 came out.
I think Guitar Center was selling them all the way through the 90s. They had like their own.
Oh, they may have had overstock, but it would have been stuff that was already built. I don't think you're going to see a serial number into the 90s. Because the 2210 and the 2205 were actually replaced by the 4100 and the 4500. So they got rid of that. And looking back, not a horrible amp design, but then they made a horrible amp design to replace it, which was the 900, the 4500, and the 4100. But then they replaced that with the dual super lead, which was better than both of them.
Yeah, the DSL was good.
The DSL is almost like a 2203 2-channel. They got rid of everything in there. No clipping diodes. It was more like the old JMP. A 3-stage cascade. 50 Marshall, and when I spank it, that GTM probably the same.
Yeah, it's still not as good.
So your modded JTM, which mod did you do?
I totally changed it. It's not a JTM anymore.
Right. I mean, you did it did you do the Jose mod or the Hose B?
Exactly. I did what I like to call the Jewish mod. No, I turned it into a Friedman.
A hoser.
Okay.
It's
circumcised.
I thought
I shouldn't have. I should have played off of the Friedman thing and really went deep with a Jewish name for the plate and made it like the Rosenblatt or something. That would have been great. But no, it's the whole front end is an 800. Everything before the phase inverter was basically ripped out and redone.
Nice.
So the whole thing is like a 2204 with a couple of like the voicing tweaks that, like I talked about last week. But yeah. It's nothing even close to the same.
The 2204 is the shit. You know what I read? I read that the original 2204, when they first came out with it, didn't have like the same, it wasn't like a cascading. So it wasn't as high gain if you get like I think it's just in the first year. And then they went and they made it just a 50-watt clone of the 2203. But originally, I don't think it was.
I don't know the history well enough. I know that even the full-fledged like stock versions of the 2204s and 2203s, they're not high gain by any high gain standards.
Right.
They're very much like a medium gain amp at best. Even this thing, and this thing's got some tweaks. Like, it's not, I wouldn't call it high gain. It's high gain when you hit it with a boost pedal.
Right.
But,
right. You put like a fucking Boss SD1 in front of it, and that you're going to have some goodness.
it's so great.
Yeah. It's the best.
Who in the chat here has including the people in the chat comments area here, who has a Boss SD1 in their possession?
I do.
You've got an SD1. Jim, fine. Boss SD1.
Yeah. No, I have MXR Distortion Plus.
Okay. Bar, you got an SD1?
No, I do not.
What is wrong with you guys?
I do have a saturated.
Matt, you're not raising your hand wildly, waving it around.
No, I don't, man. I've got.
Oh, so let me tell you, Matt. Just because you'll go out and buy one tomorrow, and I'll tell you why. It's $50.
Yeah,
you can probably buy a used one at any store for $30. It in front of a Marshall. To me, a Marshall has a real tinny sound, like a tube screamer. And when you put a tube screamer on it, it really compresses and sounds not very favorable to me. But when you put an SD1 in front of it, it like does the same thing, but makes the amp bloom.
I agree.
It's fantastic. It's like one of the few things I tell anybody, look, I'm a big boutique pedal guy. If you have a Marshall, put an SD1 in front of it.
It can't be
used for $40.
Used for, well, what are they new?
50?
Yeah, I was gonna say they're cheap.
Oh, they're cheap new too?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm telling you, if you have any type of Marshall amp, it is the best. Now, if you have, let me just say this. If you have a Fender Twin and you put a tube screamer in front of it, a tube screamer in front of a Fender Twin is going to sound better than an SD1 because the Fender Twin has no compression. It is like your balls are out there flapping in the wind. You're out there. So when you put a tube screamer in front of it, it adds that nice compression to it and gives you a little bit more drive. But on the Marshall, where there's already all that compression and drive, the fucking SD1 just makes it open up and sounds unbelievable. Whereas I feel the tube screamer sounds like it makes it more nasally and mid-rangey. The thing that I don't like about a Marshall, it exaggerates.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about
it. I figured almost everybody here would have one just because. Dude, I think I bought mine at a Guitar Center in like 2000 or 2001 or 2 or whatever for like $39.
Yeah.
Because they were so cheap for so long where you could go into any of those stores and you could buy an SD1 or a DS1 and they were always the same price, side by side, like $39.
Well, it's really why I hate the Captain's channel when him and Danish Pete are comparing pedals and they're comparing the Nobles and the Boss ST1 and the Blues Driver, and they're like, oh, this one was the best sounding one. I'm like, it depends on what you're putting that in front of. That Blues Driver in front of a Marshall, I don't like either.
I don't like it at all.
It's too dark. And unless you're playing a screamingly bright amp, the Blues Driver to me is useless. Whereas I feel the Nobles, you put that in front of any Fender or Vox, and it's a fantastic pedal.
Yeah.
I think the Tube Screamer you put in front of any Fender, fantastic pedal. The SD1 in front of a Marshall, it's just the way
have the blues
What?
driver. I do have the blues driver. It's the Wazacraft. Only
Yeah.
reason why I did is I want it on Tone King's channel. Just
Oh, okay. But yeah, you put it in front of an amp and it's
I
like,
like it. I like it, but I haven't used it in front of a Marshall though. I know I have a Marshall.
Yeah.
So
I don't think I've ever actually tried the Nobles ODR1.
that's a Wazacraft one, right? The SD. Jeff C is saying you get the Wazacraft for 100.
Oh, yeah, that's probably right. I don't see the point though. The traditional SD1's perfect. Why?
well,
You're
the
talking about-
traditional is it gives you the option of like some modification to it if you want
Yeah.
to screw around.
Yeah, you don't need it.
You're talking about the yellow one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see them on here. They're about 69, 62.99, something like that.
Is that new?
They're creeping up.
Yeah,
Still,
brand new.
imagine
If you
that.
want to buy, you could buy an expensive one. There's a black one, like the 40th anniversary or 35th anniversary. It's a all black.
Yeah, I see that one.
That's the
Pay
best
for the
looking
color.
one.
Best looking one. Who cares? It's the same pedal, right?
Right.
Yeah, but it's black. It's got a
100%.
darker
I'm
tone.
being facetious. It's the best looking
It's
pedal.
got
I don't
tone
own it. I
paint.
have the yellow.
It's got tone paint though.
Yeah. I'll take
Yeah,
the
but it's
yellow.
got an Ebo.
Oh, Ebos are
Ooh,
cool.
Weird.
Ebos are
Now,
cool.
got
I
it.
had a friend of
Just a
mine. He had a band. Used to play over at the Whiskey a lot, and his brother was the guitar player in the band. And he had a what was the Fryette, the VHT? What was that? The Pitbull.
Pitbull.
Sure.
That amp was fucking great. And
Yeah.
he used to play with a lot of soundscapes. Like he would use he would just have like 2 delays and 2 reverbs in his whole thing. And that was it. Everything else was just the amp. And he would play with an Ebo and he would play with these delay. And it sounded like a violin and shit. He was great. It was a great band. I thought it was like one of the most unique things. And those, by the way, that's an amplifier that's like completely under the radar with most people. That Pitbull, even in the Fryette version, is awesome.
It was starting to gain ground in the early 2000s, and he sold the company and he started Fryette, and he made that. Well, what's it
Yeah, well,
called?
so he
under
didn't sell the
Fryette?
company; he sold the name.
He sold the name. Now the
If-
Fryette. What's the version of Fryette that's equal to Pitbull?
It's the
the
still
same.
the same thing.
Oh,
He
you-
just changed
you
the
can
name of the
call it-
company. He only sold the name of the company. All the
you
amps
can
are the
still
same.
Call it the Pitbull. Okay.
The Pitbull, there's the CL Pitbull that had the C whatever. It has the EQ on it.
Yeah, he offered. It's hard to track those. It's hard to trace everything by a specific model name because you could get the Pitbull 100 CL
That was
with the EQ or without the EQ. You could get it with reverb or without reverb. You could do the same thing on like the Ultra Lead. It's just crazy. But yeah, I had a Pitbull 100 CL with none of the bullshit, just 2 channels. It sounded great.
Yeah.
One of those amps where when I sold it, I was just like, I probably shouldn't have done that. I'm going to regret this in 2 or 3 years. And
Yeah.
sure enough, like I peruse Craigslist every once in a while looking for that amp again.
Yeah, they're up there.
Yeah, when I bought it, it was not that bad. It was like $800.
Yeah.
Now you look
Now
for them,
2,600.
they're twice the price. Damn it.
Matt, Rick Grimes made a comment in the chat addressed to you. But yeah, no, that's a great amp. I mean, Stephen Fryette makes great stuff. He gets overlooked. I mean, there's so many great builders. You got Friedman building stuff. And there's all these guys too that build Fender knockoffs, whether it's Little Walter, whether it's vintage sound amps, whether it's tungsten amps in Florida. And all these guys make great handmade amps. And there's so many amps out there. And it's funny, people go out there and that's why I don't like that Psionic guy, because he's like, you can go out and find one of these old ones. And he's so much more about keeping it restored instead of making it just sound good. It's like,
Yeah, I agree. And again, I don't like his ear. I've heard a couple of his videos, and I'm like, he's not.
Yeah,
my
I remember Larry Carlton said he used a 57 Deluxe on every record he's ever worked on, and he used his brother-in-law's Princeton. And so they say, "Oh, wasn't that the Princeton that's modded?" He goes, "Yeah, I don't know what the hell the mod is. I don't know." Plugs it and plays it. Who cares? He doesn't give a shit. He's not a fucking dilettante trying to sit there and. It's just like whatever. I used it. It was good.
Any of you guys ever play a Fuchs?
Oh yeah,
No.
I know you have.
yeah.
Yeah, down here in Rhode Island, I mean, like there aren't many dealers that would carry those types of amps for us. And I know on the West Coast, Guitar Center might carry a bunch of these amps and stuff, but Guitar Center.
I know we
around
knew
here-
Bingham. You knew Andy, right? I mean, we knew Andy.
Times, yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, I played at his booth one year, and I played almost every one of his amps. I mean, his ODS and the ODS2 are awesome amps. Are they worth $5,000? Not to me, but that doesn't mean I don't think they're worth it. If you had, tons of money sitting around, I would own one. But I'm not going to sit there and spend $5,000 on the amp. Although it's a gorgeous amp, and he made
none of these are worth that kind of money. The amount of money that's being asked for all these amps is absurd.
And Andy made a few really cool pedals for a while. But people didn't cling on to his pedals. I don't think a lot of people realized that Plush Pedals was Andy Fuchs.
I just don't know if his name's big enough to have people care that much that it's Andy Fuchs.
Well, the one pedal that I thought he was trying to make a name, which was the Noxious pedal. Remember, that was like the evil twin.
Yeah.
It was not a good pedal.
It was,
but his other pedals were
a
fantastic.
heavy metal pedal for Nick Cannelloni or whatever the guy's name is.
Exactly.
Cannelloni.
Yeah.
Whatever the evil twin in fucking Black Label Society, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Noxious wasn't good, but the Plush was good.
Excellent. Well, Plush was the brand.
I'm sorry, the cream.
The cream was excellent.
Plush cream, yeah, that was.
Yeah,
good.
his compression was great.
Oh, I don't remember it.
Fuchs is like a designer pedal maker, right?
Well, he's an amp maker.
Like
He makes like the Dumble type amps. That's where he
Yep.
Like and same with that kid Taylor at Amplified Nation makes Dumble type amps.
Except without
And
the
they're great.
mayonnaise on the circuitry.
What's that?
Except without the mayonnaise on the circuitry.
Right, they're not covering up how it's made, but they're great amps. Are they worth the money? I don't know. To me, it's hard to beat a Bogner amp for that kind of money.
What's the Amplified Nation price? Is it like $4,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like $1,000 less than Fuchs, but still.
It's whatever people, I guess, are willing to spend on this shit.
Yeah, and the thing I will say about Fuchs is at least Fuchs, what I like about Fuchs and what I like about Amplified Nation is Amplified Nations are made to look like Dumbles, where Fuchs kind of looks like its own thing.
Yeah.
And I like the characters of both. Like, I like that about Fuchs, that it's his own thing, because his ODS2, I think, is one of the sexiest looking amps as far as a head goes. And the Amplified Nation, to me, it's like, well, you don't have to ask what it sounds like. Looks like a Dumble. It's a Dumble clone.
Yeah. Well, the thing that gets me now, especially after like embarking on this and learning how to build one, I'm very careful to say one because, like, fuck, I still don't know anything. But I always sound like I want to make sure I don't sound like I feel like I know everything, which is a bad thing. But I look at these amps like, okay, take a Friedman BE 100 Deluxe. It's like $4,000, crazy money for an amp. And then look at the Jakey Lee limited edition one or the Steve Stevens, and it's like $4,300. You're literally that upcharge. I mean, first of all, $4,000 for a modded Marshall is nuts, but then you're paying for, an extra $300 for somebody's name on it. You're not paying for componentry or voodoo or anything to make that amp sound different. It's like 15 cents worth of parts difference. And
I was just going to say, you could go out
and then you get a cute little certificate that Jakey Lee signed.
Right. You could buy an Origin or a DSL and mod it and make it sound just as good. And, with the right guy doing it, just as great as some of these $4,000 amps for under $2,000.
The last time I heard Jakey Lee play, he was fucking shit.
Yeah. What happens?
He's on that special diet, right, Bingham?
That's right. He's on the Tanqueray diet.
I mean, what happens to these
diet.
guys? It's like
I don't know, but it was a
honestly,
like
what I heard,
practice
he had a
anymore.
son, and a drunk driver crashed. And what? That's the plot to Thinner. Oh,
Oh, okay.
You love the thinner joke. That's your
Oh,
favorite
that's
joke.
great. Well, he looks like the old Indian lady.
You've been using that joke for
Yeah,
at least
cursed
5 years.
either.
I can't get rid of it. It's all I think of when I see him. Yeah,
And
but
Jimmy
he's.
Page looks like the old Korean woman in the laundry.
He-
Laundry lady.
What do you mean I can't pick up my laundry on
Yeah.
Friday?
Oh, you're Jimmy Page.
Right.
That's so funny. How in the
It's-
world did that work out? He went from being an English gentleman to an old Asian woman.
Right.
Michael Schenker looks like an old lady now.
Yeah.
Terry saw
Well,
him at
Michael
a
Schenker's got the
concert and-
short hair. He looks like he's aging. And you know, I have to say, so does Rudolph Schenker looks better now. And Klaus Meine never looked good. No, but I was going to
Agreed.
say,
Agreed.
but who was the guitar player I was just thinking of? David Gilmour looks, I mean, he looks like an English gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
Like you
So
look
does
at David Gilmour
Robert Fripp
and
looks
it's
like a proper English gentleman.
his wife looks like she's out of her mind.
Robert Fripp's wife.
Yeah. Are
Yeah,
you the
they
only
do those
person?
shows together.
Yeah.
She's got big hoots though.
Yeah, well, I'm blanking on her name, but she was in. They had a band together called
This is Fripp.
Sunday All Over the World.
Sunday all over.
Yeah.
the world,
Yeah,
Is
Yeah,
it
he's an
Toya?
interesting.
Toya Wilcox. Thank you. Yes,
Okay.
Damn.
Toya Wilcox. Yeah.
Hmm.
She was great in that band, by the way. I got to tell you, I loved that band when they came out. I had that album. It was like 90 or 91. Sunday
Robert
All Over
Fripp
the
sits
World.
down when he plays with
I
them,
don't know.
doesn't he? He's like sitting down when he plays.
Well, he always sits down.
he
He's
always
been
did.
sitting down since the early King Crimson days.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you know he's tone deaf?
Well, that's how he plays. No, I don't. What do you mean he's tone deaf?
He's tone deaf.
What do you mean he can't sing? He obviously can hear tone.
Well, he's the one who said it in an interview. He said he's actually.
Well, that
tone
means he
deaf.
can't sing. Yeah, a lot of people that play. Jimmy Page is the same way.
Yeah, but the thing
I'm
is,
sure he
saying
can sing
someone's
on
tone
pitch,
deaf
but I
because
mean,
they can't sing, it's like, if I
No,
try
I don't
singing,
think he was.
I can't
referring
sing,
to
but
that.
I know I can't sing. I know my notes are out of tune, so that doesn't make me tone
First
deaf.
of all, if you're saying Robert Fripp is tone deaf and you believe he just means that in general, have you ever seen him play when he has like the League of Crafty Guitar Players and he's harmonizing all
Yeah,
these
it's-
guys? He's
yeah,
not
it's just
tone
like
deaf.
Well, tone deaf just
I mean,
means you
it's very
can't match a
experimental.
tone with your voice.
Right.
some
That's
of
what I'm
these-
saying.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
I
all.
know.
I didn't know
Guys-
that.
I think some of these guys are
Well,
saying shit.
why
like
why do
this
they call that
because
tone deaf? Because what if your
they're
voice
not
just
making
doesn't have
anything
that?
worthwhile
Yeah,
anymore.
your limitations don't. That
Because
and
you-
you just know it.
No, because your voice you can make sound like anything if you can hear it, but if you're tone deaf, you can't hear it. You ever notice when some
Right.
people sing and you're looking at them and you're like, really?
What's wrong with
I
you?
know, yeah, but they don't know that
Yeah,
they're
they
out
don't
of
know.
tune. That's
Because
tone
they're
deaf.
tone
Tone
deaf.
deaf.
Yeah, but see now,
doing
if I
things.
sing, I'll be out of tune, but I know I'm out of tune, so I'm not tone
That's
deaf.
because you're a musician, but you're still tone deaf.
No,
How does
he-
that make you tone deaf?
No, he
Yeah,
knows
because-
he's out of pitch. If
Because
he
you're
knows he's
out
out
of
of
pitch.
you're out of
You don't have.
He's hearing that. He's
That's
out
a
of
vocal limitation. That's not. That's like
Well,
saying you have no
no.
fingers and you're tone deaf because you can't
No.
play a note on the guitar.
It just means you've got no control over your voice.
Thank you.
Hmm.
He's
I
right.
didn't know that.
I'm
Thank you.
trying to sing.
That's a weird term for it, though.
I'm trying to sing.
No, tone deaf is an inability to perceive differences in musical pitch accurately.
There
It
you
has
go.
nothing to do with the voice. It's like it's any pitch.
Well, yeah, but the reason they say that when you sing is because
Oh, yeah.
somebody can be completely off key and not realize it, and they're going,
And that's tone deaf.
Yeah, there was
How
somebody.
many people do you think are walking
Yeah, I'm
around
off
not
key,
being
I'm
able
not
to tell
tone deaf.
one note from the next, where every song
Oh.
would sound monotone? I can tell you
Yeah.
that number is 0.
Mhm.
That is absurd to sit there
When I
and
was
think the
at Berkeley-
dictionary definition of you can't differentiate. Yes, people can differentiate, but you can't sing it back and differentiate. That's where it becomes your
Yeah,
tone
exactly.
deaf.
But if you can try to sing it back, not make it, and then realize that you're not, then you're not tone deaf.
Right, then you just can't
Right.
sing.
You're just a
Yeah.
shitty
There's plenty of
dancer.
people. There's plenty of those around too. I'm one of them.
Yep, same here.
You know,
Well, you actually can have a voice enough to harmonize.
well, I call it faking it.
That's right. I do that.
Yeah, I fake it. You get in the background, I can hear a harmony. I'm not great, but I at least what I do is I listen to the person's voice and I try to make it so the harmony is right together. I'm not even really listening to my voice as much as I am listening to the, like, you know, when you tune a D and G string together.
Yeah,
That's all I'm doing. Right.
Yeah.
That's all I'm doing when I'm singing. I'm horrible. But I people are like, oh, you should sing. You sound good. You should sing lead. No.
Yeah.
No.
Dude, I was singing.
Shut up and play your guitar, right?
I was singing
Right.
Boys of Summer last night because we cover like a rock version of Boys of Summer. And I swear to God, I'm tasting blood by the time I'm singing that. I can see you. That fucking part. Oh my God.
Right.
Like when I'm
John
like
Henley
actually
can
like
sing
doing
high.
it, I'm like, ugh. It's so high. It's unbelievable.
What a great song, though.
It's easy to do the nobody on the road, nobody on the beach. I mean, that's easy, but then you get up that way up high. It's like, fuck, dude, I'm dying when I'm singing that. And I can't hit the notes, but I'm not sure that makes me tone deaf. Because I know I'm
just means you can
struggling to get there. I just can't get there.
No, it just means
You
can't
imagine
You know
get
being
you're
in
off
the
range.
Eagles.
and you're not toned in.
It's out
Can
of
you
your
imagine being
range.
in the Eagles and saying, no, I want to sing this one, Don. I'd be like, what?
Well, that's
let Don sing and shut the
didn't
fuck
Fingers
up. What the
Felder
hell
wanted to sing. He wrote Hotel California and he wanted to sing on it.
No,
And
he
then
wanted to
heard
sing
Don-
Victim
till
of
he heard-
Love. That's what it was.
No, he wrote Hotel California. I mean, he wrote
And he
everything.
wrote Victim
They
of
wrote
Love and wanted to sing it.
Oh, really?
And they told him to go to lunch. They took him to lunch while Henley.
Oh, that's right.
sang.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The manager took them to lunch, right?
Yeah. No, Hotel California was written originally in E minor. And they had to go redo everything to B minor because
And they wrote the
that's where
lyrics.
Henley
He wrote the
wanted to
melody
sing
and
it.
everything.
Yeah, he wrote everything. Yeah, well, except for
He
the
wrote
lyrics.
both guitar solos. He wrote both guitar solos. Yeah. The
Yeah.
only thing he didn't write was the lyrics.
Yeah,
And then they put his name last on the credits when they kicked him out of the band.
yeah,
I wonder
exactly.
if, I
To the
don't
bottom.
know if I've ever heard Don Henley just speaking. Does he have a high voice? Does he like? Hi, I'm
No,
Don
he has a
Henley."
deep voice.
That's
He
crazy.
talks like
It's a manly
Yeah.
voice.
Because it makes perfect sense when you're like listening to the radio and they're like, "Hi, I'm John Anderson." Yes, this
Right.
is John, and you're like, "Oh my god!"
Actually,
he's
Henley
What
has
about-
Makes
just a
sense.
very normal.
Ah,
yeah,
I
no,
don't-
yeah. Henley has a deeper voice, I thought, than Fry.
Well, I think it's his capacity to whine that gives him the high.
You in the moonlight with your sleepy eyes. His voice is great. Honestly, I mean, you think you guys are you guys big Eagles fans? First of all, you guys.
Yeah, I like a lot of Eagles stuff.
Oh, Heart of the Mat is fucking great. But even like the Eagles' third album there, or second album, Desperado, there's some songs on there like Saturday Night and Doolin Dalton where Henley is just fucking gold. And I could just imagine that, like, what's his name? Bernie Ledden's like, I'd like to sing one. What? Have you guys heard the Bernie
Shut up and play
Ledden
your
songs? Like,
banjo.
actually, they're not bad, but it would have been better. I mean, there's a great, if you guys, most of you guys are on the internet, watching YouTube or masturbating to Pornhub. If you get a chance on YouTube, there's an Eagles live from '73 where the four of them, four of them, because there's only four in the band at that point, are singing all fucking harmonies to like Take It Easy, Peaceful, Easy Feeling, Train Leaves This Morning. And it's fucking
It was a
awesome.
BBC one.
Hi, guys.
Yeah,
I
when,
got it on videotape somewhere.
And I love what's his name, Randy Meisner singing. He was a poor man, certain kind of fool.
Yeah.
It's fucking great.
Randy
And
Meisner
that band was
the best.
awesome. What's that?
Randy Meisner was the
Oh,
best.
he was great.
Yeah.
That's one she wants.
Rick Grimes, yeah, there isn't. Oh, you think there is a difference? Okay, good. There isn't. Now we settled that. I'm glad that conversation we had. There's no difference. The 20, whatever the scale length is vibrating, that's vibrating. Your pickup is picking it up. And if you could tell the difference between String Through the Body, I'll play a telly and then I'll play a Jim Capliago telly. And then I'll put a gun to your head and say which one was which. And we'll just watch as you shit your pants that you don't know what the hell the difference is either. It's impossible. Everyone's a hero until they have to close their eyes. I say this all the time. You can look at a red guitar and a black guitar. If I have these two guitars, guys, and I ask you to look at them and say, what colors, which one's the red, which one's the black, and I keep shuffling it, how many times will you get it wrong?
0 point.
Exactly. Now, if I sit there and blindfold you and say, now I'm going to play a telly that has
50-50.
string through and a telly that's fucking top loaded,
50-50.
how many times are you going to get it right?
Jack Johnson knows.
50-50 is the answer. 50-50. Why? Because you're
Are you saying it's a guess?
It's 100% a guess. You couldn't tell. There's no difference.
Tone paint.
If there were a difference,
Paint.
I could play you a country telly player, and you could tell me if he was top loaded or string through. Every time. Just like you could tell me the color of his guitar, but you can't.
Or if he was just loaded.
Or the
Because
color
it's
of his paint.
impossible. What's that? All right. That's another one. Pick material.
Or the batteries that he uses.
This pick material has the best sustain. Listen,
That
let
doesn't
me
make
show you.
sense.
Yeah, that's like, let me
This is
just
the
show
best
you this.
pi- This is the best pick ever made right here.
What's the name of that burger that's all the fake, the plant-based beef?
Oh,
Like
the Impossible
Beyond Burger
Yeah.
or Ultimate
Beyond
Burger?
Beef.
Impossible.
Yeah, that's like someone selling you, Beyond Beef is better than beef. Oh, it is? Okay. Yeah. Why is there 4,000 chemicals in the ingredients?
Right.
And why is my
Because it tastes
asshole
good.
bleeding every time I eat it? There you go.
Damn.
That's
I had
what the thing should say.
I had a far worse joke for you. It involved
Bleeding
You
You know
asshole.
what they say, but
it
no,
involved
honestly,
your
really,
orientation and what you were doing after you were eating the burger.
Yes,
You were eating the Beyond Burger. But you can't say it.
Yeah.
I'll
Sure
get
you can.
everybody canceled. Your show won't be on next week.
right.
By the way, I am absolutely loving Dr. Ken Berry's suggestion of going and ordering off of the McDonald's a la carte menu. Oh, it's the best.
Oh yeah,
didn't know
yeah.
this
You could
was a
also do
thing.
that at you could do that at In-N-Out Burger.
I didn't know it was a thing.
What
Yeah.
are
I
you
was, in
talking
a,
about?
I was in a pinch the other
Just
night.
order a
and-
burger with the
No, I was in a
bun.
pinch the other night, and I said, I go up to the window and I'm like, listen, I've got a weird order. And she goes, try me. And I was like, I'll have a medium Diet Coke. No, I'm just kidding.
Excellent.
Yeah. I said, I'll have a medium Diet Coke and I want 2 quarter-pounder patties. Just the patties. And she goes, it's not
That's gonna
that
cost
weird.
extra.
It's going to be $4.58. Pull forward. I'm like, giddy up.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how
You, just,
cheap
you,
it
just,
was,
you
though.
could just say you order all the a la carte. I'd like to order from the a la carte menu.
Yeah, I
I
didn't know
want
that was a
2
thing
quarter
before.
pounders or 3 quarter pounders with just nothing. And they just give you
in
the
that
meat.
in that Ken Berry video, he's like, I go up to the window and I order 7. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Now the
That is like not
McDonald's
even
cheese,
meat,
is
though.
that oil based?
Oh, it's 100% beef, no oil used.
On
No,
McDonald's.
the beef, but the
Yeah.
cheese. What about the,
quarter-
cheese?
Don't
The
order the
quarter
cheese.
pounders-
It's
the
American.
quarter
It's
pounders
processed
are
cheese.
advertised as being 100% USDA whatever.
They
ground beef.
changed it in like 2000 because if you remember, Krellby, you and I had an argument about Wendy's versus
Yeah.
McDonald's.
And then I did the taste challenge because I
And then say just for the audience, because some people don't know, who was right in that study?
oh, you were absolutely right. As a matter
Okay,
of fact,
thank you.
it went
They're
against
fantastic.
everything I believed. I mean, I went in there thinking that McDonald's would be last and Wendy's would be first and Burger King be in the middle. I ended up with McDonald's first, then Burger King, and Wendy's.
Yep.
Wait,
Okay,
what did we do here, Krellbar?
It was
Yeah.
a burger challenge. I imposed on myself because we were talking about it. I went to the big 3. They're right across from each other, of course. And I just got plain burgers. And I pulled the meat
A
off.
few years ago, let me just give them
Okay.
some background. A few years ago, I weighed about 265. And I'm on this show talking about how I'm loving McDonald's fucking double quarter pounder cheeseburgers. And Krellbar says they're the worst of the bunch. And I said, no, you're out of your mind. I've been eating nothing but fast food for the last few months. And I'll tell you, McDonald's is the best. Wendy's is the worst. And Burger King is in the middle, but it's not far from Wendy's. And so Krellbar was like, no way, arguing, and said, I'm going to go do my own test. And then he came back and he was like, you're right. McDonald's is the best.
It's on video. I have the wrappers. I made a big show out of it.
So
Now,
were
what-
we just doing the patty by itself?
Yeah,
That's
just
what
the
it
patty.
was. Okay.
Yeah, just to taste it. But what I did is when I was finished with it, I mean, McDonald's always had the best bread. So I took all 3 patties after I took a bite out of them. I threw them all on the McDonald's bread, ate that, threw the other bread out.
But yeah, McDonald's burgers do not use oil, whereas Burger King does not use oil. Wendy's, I don't know. But I do know that McDonald's, Burger King, and In-N-Out do not use oil on the burgers.
Yeah, but Burger King's doing something.
They're flame
Something
broiling, right? The
synthetic.
seasoning.
Yeah, but that
Well,
is it.
no,
Real
I think it's the
flame
smoky.
broil, or is it
It's the
smoke,
flame
liquid
smoky
smoke?
thing.
The
It's
grill
not
taste,
liquid
yeah.
smoke.
I want
No.
to ask a question here.
Go for it.
Who's backing up this claim that McDonald's is 100% USDA beef? I mean,
Well, they changed it. They made a big announcement. This is years ago, and
because I remember a long time ago, one of my
And
friends was
Ruby.
reading the
You have
ingredients
soy?
on McDonald's, and it was like one of them was sodium earthobate. And he goes, "You know what that
Right.
is?" And I was like, "No, it's earthworms."
right, that's all gone. Gone. That once they got
What?
that bad name for that around 2000, because that was the 90s. And then around 2000, McDonald's came out and said we're switching. We're 100% pure
It tasted
beef.
like Eartha bait back then.
They were terrible. I'll tell you right now, they were the
Fat
worst
guano.
burgers.
I love earthworms.
And when they switched,
wet
they
type
became the best. They were awesome, and
was
that's
the
why I
wet
was
type
bringing
of
it up to
burger.
Krellbach.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, it's 100% beef, and Dr. Berry was, and there's a couple of other guys. They go out and it's Paul Saladino. They go out and ask, are they cooking in oil? What are they doing? How are they cooking it? And so Paul has a list of burgers places, like fast food places you can and can't go. So, but In-N-Out, you can eat the burgers. McDonald's, you can eat the burgers. Burger King, you can eat the burgers. I don't think Wendy's, but I'm not sure.
I feel
But-
like if McDonald's was really making these claims, it would be very easy for somebody to go and do a big class action lawsuit.
Of
and all
course,
that
yeah. No,
sort
they
of
would get
stuff.
sued. No, they switched. They never used to say it, and then it changed. 100%. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
once
they-
a place.
And on top of that,
fast food places
the
will
quarter
say-
pounder patties are not frozen. The other stuff might be frozen, but they specifically cite here it says all our burgers are made with 100% USDA inspected beef. There are no preservatives or fillers in our patties, and the only thing ever added is a touch of salt and pepper on the grill.
Yeah.
And our quarter pounder burgers are made from 100% fresh beef patties in the US. So they're specifically pointing out that those quarter
I'm gonna get a
pounders are fresh.
fucking quarter. I haven't had a quarter pounder since I was a kid. I think I'll go grab one next.
Well, the
week.
reason I'm kind of like, ooh, this might be actually real is because yesterday, early in the day, I made a burger from the meat that I buy from Costco, and I buy like the grass-fed expensive. It's like $25 for like 3 pounds. It's too much money, but it's whatever. So I buy that and I make that early in the day. And here I am going to rehearsal last night really late, and I'm like, fuck, I'm dying. And I'm not going to be able to eat again until tomorrow midday. I'm going to get something. So that's when I got those burgers at McDonald's. And I got to be honest, like, I thought they were going to be shitty, but they taste pretty much the same as what I made at home.
Yeah, they're
I'm
good.
kind of like, okay.
Well,
They're good. Andrew Collins. Yeah, it's not about Five Guys. It's not about the. I eat
It's about
buffalo.
6
Yeah,
guys.
it's about what are they cooking with the beef? Are they using oil? If they're using oil, it's a no-no on the
it's
carnivore. You
dumb.
can't.
and it's
What?
dumb to cook. It's dumb to cook
Right.
a hamburger with oil. It
Right.
makes its own fucking fat.
Yeah. So, but if Five Guys doesn't use oil, then Five Guys would be cleared. But for some reason, I thought Five Guys. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so that's just carnivore nonsense. If you want, I got to tell you, I'm eating one meal a day. I mean, I'm making something here every day, and
Me too.
Yeah,
I've
it
been
feels
one meal
great.
a day for 2 months.
it feels great. Even the best oils, all the oils are terrible, all of them.
I've
Yeah.
never had Five Guys.
I don't like it. Not for
Crowbar
me.
maxes out at 3 guys at once.
I don't like Five Guys. I don't care for Burger King that much. I tell you, I really just like McDonald's. I love In-N-Out Burger the best if it was on the West
Wendy's.
Coast.
When I did the burger thing, Wendy's had no taste.
It's a mealy tasting meat.
And the
It's
thing
disgusting.
is that the Burger King was similar to Wendy's, but it had a smoky flavor to it, that flame broiled flavor to it.
Yeah, they put it through some. Yeah, it's probably all chemical. Who
No,
knows?
Surfy, I'm not on carnivore. What I've done is that I eat a lot of meat and whole foods, and I do eat vegetables, not in a lot of it, but mostly it's like, yeah, Dave saw a lot of pictures I post on Facebook. I make like eggs of venison, which was lean by cooked bacon too, and I cooked it in the bacon fat. So I'm part carnivore. It's like I'm more like on the paleo
You're keto.
type thing. Paleo, yeah. It's like I'm
You're
not
keto.
sure if I'm getting my carbs down that much because I'll have a big old sweet potato.
Oh, so then wait a minute. Hold on a second. You say you're kind of carnivore. I say you're keto, and you say, well, I'm not getting my carbs down. Well, since carnivore has 0 carbs,
Yeah,
and keto allows for 50,
mean to
let's
say
say you're having
paleo.
70. You're a
I'm
hell of a
probably
lot
more-
closer to keto than
I'm
you
more
are carnivore.
Paleo. Yeah.
I didn't realize that keto
Paleo,
was
fish
allowing
and dairy,
50. I thought it was like 30.
50 is keto, and 20 is extreme keto.
I did not realize. Okay.
I do.
When
I don't
When I
eat
was doing
regular
it before I
potatoes.
switched to full carnivore, it was like I was doing like 30.
Yeah.
At most.
And that's fine. I mean, you don't have to hit that threshold. It's just that's where you're allowed. Yeah, I mean, carnivore, like you're gonna lose a lot, John. Especially once you start to realize, once your body kicks in, like you saw RL, because RL was like, he doesn't believe me, but I think he's gonna get down to like he's gonna get lighter than me, and I'm 180.
Yeah, but you got a lot of muscle mass.
Yeah, that's why. Oh, I'm saying he thinks he's going to stick around 195. I'm like, you, sir, are on crack.
Mm.
Beef cheese, Southern boy. I just don't know what Wendy's is cooking in. They may not be using anything. I'll tell you right now, I like making it at my house better. I can make a bacon burger where I cook the bacon, and then I take it out of the grease, and then I put that burger patty on it in the grease, and that thing just sizzles.
Yeah, I cooked the sirloin in bacon grease last week.
Oh, it's the best.
Wendy's
So I'll tell you what
is
else I've been
claiming
making. You
these days
guys
that
might
they don't
enjoy
freeze
this,
their shit either.
especially Matt. You buy a chuck roast, like a chuck shoulder, and you put it on high heat with just a little bit of bacon fat in the pan, just a little bit on the bottom. Sear the chuck for 2 minutes to 3 minutes aside. So you get 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then kind of dab the sides. Then take it off the heat, add 3 to 4 cups of water, cover it with tin foil, and it goes in the oven at 350 for 3 hours. When you take it out, it's basically like a pulled beef in this heavy broth. Oh my God. I'll be making it again tomorrow. It's unbelievable.
What are you making?
It's chuck roast.
Oh, okay.
So you buy a chuck shoulder, which you usually get for like anywhere from $3 to $5 a pound. So you buy a 3-pounder for like what?
A chuck shoulder?
I get the joke.
Yeah.
You said
chuck
Chuck shoulder. He said Chuck shoulder.
Yeah. Awful.
Are you
So anyway,
familiar with
you get a
It'll
chuck
be a
shoulder.
definite.
You get a chuck shoulder, sear it in a pan. Actually, all you got to do is look up on carnivore something. It's just on YouTube. Look up Cassie's chuck roast.
Cassie.
Yeah, 30/70 is the way to go, Southern boy. That's what I use at home. 30/70 is the best.
30/70?
I do 30/70, yeah. I do as fatty as I can find it at the store.
Yeah. I'm still doing
Okay, on carnivore. There's
20,
actually,
but I do
Instant
butter the
Pot?
pan before I cook it.
no, easy
So it's adding a
carnivore
little
chuck
bit
roast.
into it, just probably not that much.
Perfect for the BB. She's got 2 of them on here. One from
Right, the one that says
September 16th.
Cassie's perfect for the BB and bacon. What is it?
Oh,
bacon,
perfect
beef
for the
eggs.
BB. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Beef
It's a 1-minute thing. Yeah.
No. Okay, so not the 1 minute one, the longer
Oh,
one.
okay.
Cassie's chuck roast. Yeah, throw it in the chat so people can see it. It's a great. I've made it with chicken. I've done it with chicken thighs. I always have a ton of protein cooked in my fridge, and I'm never hungry. That's the funny thing. And Bing, are you finding that? Like sometimes you get a little hungry, but you're never starving or hangry.
Right. That's correct.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, gosh, the last thing I ate were those 2 burger patties last night at like 9:00 before practice. Then I came home, got my 5 hours of sleep. Wish it was more. I'm exhausted, but that's because of a late practice and an early get up to get the kids. And then I didn't eat anything until we were done playing golf.
Right.
And I think by around 18, I was like, yeah, I could eat. But like, 2:30 in the afternoon at that point. So
right.
Yeah.
Did you and Irel didn't go to eat after your golf?
I've got one on cue next couple of weeks. Chuck roast.
Oh, nice.
There you go.
No, we were talking about this, and both of us kind of agree. It's just like, it's not as it's just not as satisfying to go out to eat because it's like, well, what am I going to do?
Right.
I'm gonna order beef. I'm gonna look like a complete fucking pariah.
Right.
And the waitress, like I took Ewan to get a burrito last night because my son was like begging me for a week that he wants to go back to this burrito place that he likes, and I was like, all right, fine, I'll take you. So I took him, and we're sitting down in there, and the woman's like, can I take your order? And he orders, and then she's like, how about you? And I was like, no, I'm good. I'm just not hungry. I'm not hungry. She's looking at me like I'm nuts.
Right.
You want me to bring you an extra plate? Well, do you want some chips? You want this? It's a lady. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Right.
Get him his food. I'm good. I'm genuinely good. Leave me alone.
Yeah,
But
it's kind of hard sometimes, man, because my wife and daughter.
Yeah, you've been doing it for a year.
Yeah, love this sushi place, and I used to eat there with them all the time. But now I go there, and there's absolutely fucking nothing I can get off their menu.
Right.
I mean, the only thing they have.
Give me a pile of salmon, thank you.
Well, one time I did go there, and I was like, oh, I'll just have this raw, sushi. I was like, so I just had it with no rice, and everything. Man, I was up at like 3:00 in the morning, shitting my brains out because it was just, oh man, it did not go well.
Oh, right. and no soy sauce, right? Or did you have soy?
No. But the only beef they have is like some little pieces on a stick that's like cooked to death, and they usually want put like a teriyaki or some kind of sauce on it.
Totally.
Like, can I have this dry little chunks of meat with no sauce? Yeah, that's a fun time eating out. So
you go out with anybody, and they're like, what about vegetables? You can't eat the sides?
Yeah.
Right.
What's your problem? What's your problem? This good.
They're not going to hurt you.
Well, apparently Krellbar is only going to Asian places. Did you hear his waitress impersonation? All of a sudden,
you're talking sushi. A place around here, it's like combination steakhouses and sushi. So
you order shit, you eat shit.
You go now.
But I got to tell you, to me, it's like every day I'm making a 2-egg omelet doused in cream cheese and farmer's cheese, and then I'm having bacon, and then there's beef that I make, this chuck roast that I make, and then I'm having a carb-free cheesecake, and then I'm drinking root beer, diet root beer with heavy cream.
I finally went out and bought a bottle of Sun-Kissed Orange Zero. I'm looking forward to that one. Got to mix it in. Because I haven't tried that yet. I've just done the A&W.
So good.
I'm excited.
It's so good. I ran into a girl I haven't seen in the gym in like 6 weeks. And I was like, hey, where the hell have you been? We just have not been going at the same time. But usually we talk when we're in the gym. And she looked and she goes, oh my God, you got even leaner? I said, oh, did I? I'm like, I don't think so. I feel like I put on like 3 or 4 pounds. She's like, oh yeah, you're much. I was like, you don't want to hear me sing. Okay. That's the old Benny Hill bit.
Oh, man.
But yeah, no, she was like, oh my God, you look so much leaner. You're obviously still doing the diet. I'm like, I'm on this diet for the rest of my life. It's the easiest thing I've ever done. I mean, literally, like people will say to me, like, and even RL, oh, DL has discipline. And I do. But after a while, this isn't discipline anymore. You just feel better. It's like it's easier to do this than not. But in the beginning, yeah, your first 90 days, you're you're like, okay, well, after 90 days, I'm going to introduce this back. After you get to that time, you're like, there's no fucking way I'm going back to that. Because you just feel so great.
There's truth to
Wicked
that.
hardcore.
Matt, have you found after 10 months like any desire to fall off the wagon?
I did a little bit. Like the
cherry pie.
like the holidays, I had some desserts here and there, not a lot, but I kind of it really messed with me, man. I was about to bring this up. Like the last 2 weeks, I've had nothing but meat and water. That's it. No cheese. No, I mean, I have butter, but I did have eggs. But the problem I was having was, does anybody know about Candida?
Yep. Yeast.
Okay. That shit wreaked havoc with me. And I was drinking, I was getting up and making the bulletproof coffee every morning. I've been doing this for years. And I was making up to 5 cups a day, plus having other caffeine on top of that. And it just wrecked me. And I was getting all these rashes all over, wherever you have thinner skin, like the inside of my elbows or under my armpits, or,
what caused this?
Candida.
Yeah, but where does it build up? Because doesn't that come from
like a fungus
flour?
Something?
No, everybody's got it in their gut. It's just if you feed it, which it thrives on acidity and sugar, carbohydrates, and they actually have a Candida diet where you can't have any fruit. You're only supposed to eat meats and vegetables. And since
so how has it worked out cutting everything out?
It actually worked. All the skin is clearing back up. But I had to quit the coffee. That was the final straw.
Oh, all right.
Because coffee was feeding it?
Yeah, because it's acidic. It's very acidic.
Oh, gotcha.
And it thrives in an acidic environment. So you've got to be completely alkaline, and that'll start killing it off. And 2 weeks I've had absolutely nothing to drink but water, and nothing to eat but chicken, beef, or eggs.
And you feel good.
I feel great. Yeah.
Nice. Martin Taylor says he misses the town spa tale. So I'll tell you a town spa tale. A few weeks ago, Rel was in town, my brother. We went to the town spa. We went twice, actually. The first time I ordered a burger with bacon and cheese. And the second time I didn't have anything. First time I was like, it was all right. The burger wasn't really cooked as good as I cook it. And I like it rare, but I like it seared. This was they showed, hey, here's the oven. Now we're just going to throw it on a plate. The cheese wasn't American cheese. It was, I made sure it was a cheddar, and the bacon wasn't cooked as well as I like to make it. So it was all right. But the girl was just I said to her, listen, I don't want anything on the plate. Don't put a lettuce and tomato. Don't put anything. She's like, okay, I get it. I go, I want you to treat me like a vegan, but I eat meat. So the opposite. So she goes, okay. She comes out with the food, and there's a pickle on the plate. She goes, do you mind? While it's in her hand, I take it off and I just throw it on the table. And I said, yeah, I mind. I don't want it. I was pissed. And then she's like, it's a weird diet. Oh, is it? Why don't you tell me what to eat? You're fucking 400 pounds and you look like shit. Why don't you give me a diet, honey? Why don't you give me a fucking diet? Unfucking believable. The second time,
you need some snack wells, DL.
I wasn't even hungry. That's the thing. The second time we go there, I'm like, I'm not even going to eat. I have no interest. The waitress comes over, and I look at my brother, and I said, I think this waitress has been here since the dawn of time. When the fucking monolith came out, the apes are bouncing. She's walking up going, you ready to order your pizza? She's been there at least 36 years, 40 years. Anyways, we find out later she's been there since the dawn of time. It was true. And it took a while to get his food. But I think, I was glad RL was eating it, because afterwards I knew he was going to go on carnivore, and he's going to feel like, when you eat the town spa, you feel like a bloated fucking mess.
Yeah.
Now he tells me he went out to dinner for his anniversary. He got a steak. He's like, he felt like he could have gone for a run right afterwards, but he felt full.
Oh, dude, all day long, all we were talking about, we were playing is how it's working and how good it feels. Yeah, there's no question about it. Like the energy level being totally stable, not having the hunger pangs or any of that sort of shit. It's
it's easy.
That's the best part. The best part is the fact that you're not like counting how many carbohydrates are hiding in your broccoli. And then having everybody go, you shouldn't worry about that. It's just broccoli. It's fine. Nobody ever gained weight in broccoli.
Right. But what's funny is you never think about calories. You also don't look at the clock going, oh, I should wait another hour to eat. Eat when you want and stuff your face. It doesn't matter. There's no counting calories. And you feel great. You feel good. And the weight keeps coming off.
You said you feel great, and then you said you feel good. Which is it?
You feel good and great.
There you go.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's one of those things. Like I say, when I eat, I'm like, today when I ate, I'm like, do I want to eat now? And I don't think if I'm hungry, I just think what I get going on for the rest of the day. And I'm like, well, I'd rather be done with this because then I have a student coming and I could do this and not have to rush. So that's what I did. Didn't think about it. I was just like, I'll eat now. It was like 3:00. I'm like, and I eat a lot. I mean, I'm eating like 3,000 calories, But it's good, folks. And if anyone has any questions about the diet or wants to get interested into it, I suggest you Google it on YouTube and don't ask me a thing. No, I'm kidding. You can ask me anything.
Did you open your second channel yet?
I haven't posted a video yet, but it's there. It's called The Chairman, and I'm going to talk about carnivore on it and talk about diet and nutrition and workouts too, because I've been working out a lot less, and I feel like I'm putting on more muscle now. And today I was like, shit, I stepped on the scale and it was like 186. And I'm like, I was 183 last week. And I'm like, am I putting weight on? But then I go to put on my pants and I'm like, shit, I can go another belt now. So my waist got smaller. My weight's coming up. And no, it's not paleo, Oliver. It's called carnivore. There's no carbohydrate. If anything, think of it like this. If it comes from the ground, we don't eat it. If it had parents or comes from something that had parents, we eat it.
Now, Dave, you changed your workout. You said you're doing the Mike Menza thing.
More towards that, yeah.
More towards, yeah, it's like if you have a chance, you want to send that to me?
Well, I mean, you really just got to watch a couple of his Instagram clips. It's really about.
I don't have
because it really what it is you're cutting your sets out. You're basically going like if today the other day I did chest, so I went in and I did heavy flies on cable, but the second set was really the one where I was like fighting to get it to here, and then I was letting it go super slow, and forget about the form to get it up, just to get to here, and then you bring it out super slow. And once you do like 4 sets like that, you're done. Then I went and did a pec deck. I did that and I got the hell out of there. And honestly, like I can feel from doing these less set workouts, way more growth.
So if you do a bench press, sloppy on the way up, as long as you do it down nice and controlled, it's
yeah, I would say do dumbbells and just have somebody get behind you and tap your shoulders up.
Well, you're doing 4 sets. How many did you used to do?
What do you mean 4 sets? I'm doing the 1 warm up and then 1 super heavy, mostly negative of each exercise, and only 2 exercises.
Oh, because you said after 4 sets, you're done.
4 reps, I think.
That's a total of 4. Oh, 4 reps. I'm sorry, 4 reps.
Okay.
I was like, 4 reps. Sets is, no, 4 reps. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Because you bring it back slow, and then finally you just go to failure, and you're like, then
after that, you're just, not doing yourself any good. So.
Yeah, you're done. And that was the whole Mike Mensa thing. But, he's like, go every 5 days. I go every day. I just do 1 body part. Where he would be doing 3 body parts per day. But anyways,
It's sworn
what,
that David Paul told me that he would just beat the crap out of his whole body one day a week and then just rest the other days.
now see when I worked at Gold's Gym, I thought Mike was hysterical because Mike would be training these young guys, getting in their face, going, "How do you expect to grow? Let's go!" And he's like yelling at these guys right in their face. And meanwhile, he wasn't even in shape at the time. He looked like he had a gut. He was like this little squat. He reminded me. He had the physique of the inspector on the cartoon of the Pink Panther. You know what I mean? He's like a little squatty guy. And then he would stand outside the front door and smoke cigarettes. And I was just like, this guy's a legend.
Role model.
A legend. Well, plus I knew all about him, but I knew he wasn't in shape anymore. But me and my buddy,
when they're smoking while they're doing the exercise.
Oh yeah, they could do that now because they have outside. But back then, everything was indoors. But it was fun. I mean, I like Mike. I think he's hilarious, and but I do think those principles work. And to me, it's like, especially when I'm trying to help people like that don't have discipline to get into the gym and train, it's a lot easier to get them in shape when you're like, listen, you don't have to be the gym rat in there for 2 hours doing walking around. My biggest thing I get a kick out of is when you see a guy in the gym and they walk around with a gallon of water. Oh, you need a gallon? You're in here you're gonna drink a gallon of water in here? Give me a fucking break.
You spend most
a
of the
gallon
time
of water.
Do a couple
A
sets,
gallon.
push your brains out.
I'm like, you're lifting. I'm like these young kids. They walk around with a gallon like they're like bodybuilders. And I'm like, you're fucking benching 135. Can you fucking do me a favor and leave the gallon of water at home? You're not even doing cardio.
Bench
the gallon. I made a joke. I said, I want to walk around with one of those 5-gallon ones and just walk around with it on my shoulder in the gym.
With the
After every set, just walking around with this gallon.
Like the
I'm not
Sparklets,
drinking
man.
it. I just wanted to show you guys that I can carry more water than you.
You'll look like the Sparklets guy.
You got to switch sides so you get an even workout.
Right. I say to them, look, I don't even know if your workout holds water. Oh, it does, a gallon. Excellent. My bad. Keep doing what you're doing. You look great. No, but I mean, you guys been in the gym. Most gyms, everyone's overtraining. And then the guys who don't overtrain and they say they're natural, well, we know what that looks like. Right?
Acne.
Oh, I'm natural. Oh, really? The guy exactly. The guy next to you fucking is training for the Olympia and you're almost his size, but you're natural. Yeah. That's believable. That's believable. Anyway, so so I think the carnivore with the heavy duty, it works. It's working for me. I'm like I said, it's 186 today, but I'll probably be like 183 tomorrow again.
That's incredible. I've never seen you that thin. That's the thinnest I've seen.
No way.
220, 225 maybe.
205 was probably around the time when 205, 210.
You were like,
how about this? My waist was always like a 34. Right now I'm a 30.
Yeah.
That's like a David Paul
I wear
waist.
31s. What's that?
That's like David Paul sized.
The Paul brothers, the Barbarians, they had the tiniest waist
I swear
because
to God.
they had no hips. They had the weirdest shape that their body, and it was like round. It was like, I never seen anything like that. Those guys, yeah, they were like 28 waist.
He was 245 with a 28-inch waist.
Yeah.
He wears tight jeans with the Frankenstein boots and the flannel shirt, the cut off in the stomach.
And let's not forget that stylish wig.
Very much so. Oh, you know what? I just saw that Stanley Jordan is playing somewhere in Boston. Have you guys seen Stanley Jordan's picture lately?
Yeah,
the wig is awesome.
What is that?
It's a wig.
What is that? It's fucked up. He needs to knock that off.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Is that wig beautiful?
What is he doing?
No, it's hideous.
The straight down wig. He's trying to look like he's in his 20s.
Yeah.
Well,
how old
is he? 60s, 70s. He's got to be in his 60s.
Yeah,
Oh,
65,
yeah.
I'd guess.
Yeah,
Definitely.
he looks like 70.
Yeah, that's a bad look.
No, maybe your instrument, Rick, sounds unique, but I'm telling you, if you change
my
that
God,
bridge,
it's
that's going to
Michelle
sound the
Obama.
same. It's
No, I don't think that the wig is just
Michael?
a wig. I think Stanley Jordan's trying to be more like Stanleysha Johnson.
you think he's
There's too many photos of him wearing that wig and wearing low cut tops that are incredibly reminiscent of blouses.
well, don't forget he used to live in the dashiki.
Yeah, this guy.
Right, he used to have the afro, the dashiki. This guy was like, I'm from Nigeria. Now he looks like
but now he's a they them, I think.
He was doing a Hendrix tribute a few years ago, wasn't he?
Yeah.
he was?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look at that wig. Is that wig great?
No, it's hideous.
He looks ridiculous. My favorite picture is the one where he's like looking with the leaves behind him. And it's like, do you think for a
the wind
second
blowing through his wig?
anyone is going to think that is your hair? In a million years, you could sit there and go, wig.
In
It says here he was
2016,
briefly married.
There's
Briefly
an
married
article
and has a
from
dog.
Jazz Times magazine where Stanley Jordan says, "My spirit transcends gender."
He does look like he's going. He looks like he's
yeah.
wearing like lipstick
He's
and
on his-
shit.
He's
So,
on his way. He's doing the full androgyny thing.
Yeah.
Is
My
he going to join the
spirit
Vinnie Vincent?
transcends
Oh, I see
gender.
in the Jazz Times.
Yeah,
I
except
see
Stanley Jordan can play guitar.
my spirit transcends gender.
Going Crowbar.
Which means he's smoking the pole.
Right. It means he's gay and he just doesn't want to come out with it.
It's fine.
Hey,
My
who was
church
shocked when
frowns
He's
Vinnie
smoking
Vincent,
the pole or getting rid of the pole, you know?
who was shocked when Vinnie Vincent came on to one of those Kiss reunion things looking like
In the pantsuit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He looked like he had Hillary's ass.
Oh my God.
He did. He looked like Hillary Clinton in the pants. It's like for
And
crying out
He
loud.
was even worse. He was playing an acoustic guitar and he's horrible.
He's terrible. He was
always
never
been
good. He was
Why
never
did
good.
he get all this session work? Like he supposedly was this ace
All
session
this-
musician.
Well, when he stopped trying to be the shred guy and stuff, he was a decent player. I mean, it's like it just that, you know, he got into that whole wheelie and just moving his right hand as fast as possible.
He used to speed it up too. I heard he used to speed up the tape.
Hold
And,
on.
you know, you could tell.
What record did Vinnie Vincent come out where he played like he played not when he wasn't playing shred?
He had
Yeah, because I never heard that one.
Well, I know
I
he played
remember-
with Dan Hartman, but that was fucking back in the 70s.
Yeah, that was like in the 70s. Yeah.
Yeah, when he did Instant Replay. But once he was in Kiss, first of all, the Vinnie Vincent invasion is horrible. Horrible. That's not music.
Wasn't that Mark Slaughter was in that band, wasn't he?
in the
Slaughter
second
replaced-
album,
Yeah, Slaughter came in on the first album tour. Fleischman never toured the first album. They got Slaughter for the tour, but Fleischman was saying the first album. Oh, Bingham split.
Irish
He didn't
Goodbye.
even say goodbye.
He never can. Oh, now we got the Big Jim.
No,
Look at Jim
all
on
I
the left.
remember-
The Big Jim.
Is that
Big Jim.
You remember when we used to speak with Guitar Hack and stuff, and he linked us to something that Vinnie Vincent did, and it sounded like it wasn't blowing his wad all over the place. It just sounded like a good standard solo.
Can't say that I recall.
Yeah, it's some years ago.
I missed that one.
This is like four years ago when we looked at the link. Well, Dave never looked at the link, probably.
Yeah, that's
I'm not
exactly
gonna
right.
fucking look at
I
it.
would never click it. No, I'm telling you, first of all, Vinnie Vincent, I just don't care. It's not my thing. I always thought he was terrible. Matt, you ever listen to Vinnie Vincent Invasion?
I try not to. No.
Right. I mean, it's just, there was a lot of that hair band shit between that, Nitro.
I
it
think
was just
Nitro
garbage.
was actually worse than Vinnie Vincent Invasion. Oh my
You know
God.
what's
I
a
mean, better
great
guitar
record?
player, but it's like.
Are you
fucking-
guys
oh my
familiar with a band called Fifth Angel?
Yeah.
Why does that sound
yes. Yeah,
I remember Fifth
They were
Angel.
great.
yeah, I remember
who played in
having
that?
playing an album there.
Wasn't Greg Jafria was in that, right?
The 80s.
No,
I don't
no,
know.
That was Archangel.
no.
wasn't it?
Fifth Angel was
No.
it was
No, that was Jafria.
They
James
call
Bird,
the
I think the guy's
angel.
name was. But they did Midnight Love, which was the theme to the Channel 9 Howard Stern show.
Oh, that's why I recognize the name. Yeah. It's
Oh, and that whole record is great. That's like a metal
Was
80s hair
was
band
there
that
a
I
keyboard
feel
player
is
named Phil in that band?
Phil
in Fifth
McCracken.
Angel?
I have no idea. You think I memorized everybody's name in every band?
Yes.
Bend over.
You're like Eddie Trunk.
Close.
Bend
Dave.
over and fill my cracking.
You're like we stumped the trunk over here.
I don't think there's a keyboard player in the band. And if there is, I mean, I know there's
Fifth Angel.
the album I think is called
I mean,
I
it
wanna
was like
say
supposed to be like a super group, right? They were billed as a super
No,
group.
no,
No,
these
no,
are
no.
just a bunch of guys from Jersey
I remember
or New
James
York.
Bird. He used to play
The album it might be
White-
called. The opening song was Cathedral, I think it was called, or the album. Let me just see. Fifth.
Remember James Bird? He used to play a white flying V with single coil pickup. Well, with the stacked single.
His
coil.
tone is great on that. Time Will Tell. You guys should check out the record. Time Will Tell from Fifth Angel. Fantastic. Yeah, Cathedral's on it. Midnight Love, Lights Out. It's excellent.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Lights. They do a cover of Lights Out. I have heard Fifth Angel.
They're great. That album's excellent.
Yeah, I only ever saw him in advertisements. He was in an advertisement. That's how I knew.
Oh yeah, no. But if you ever get it, so you're on Spotify. Put it in the list when you smoke a cigar.
Which is
By the
awful.
way, so I told you the edges. For those who smoke cigars, if you go to Cigars International, they're selling boxes of the wide La Perla Habana wide in the Robusto, which is the
$60
size I
a ton.
like, for $59.99 a box of 20.
What was that
I
one
also-
I wanted that I was waiting for to go on sale? The
I also just picked up 25 Sumatra edges from Rocky Patel. Grill.
oh really? The edges that's not the extreme Sumatra. Or?
No, the edge.
Oh, okay.
That's my favorite of his. And what else? There was I got a bunch of cigars. I smoked an Olivas V. What is that one called? Milanio. The Maduro. I smoked that today. It was excellent. And then I smoked a Badia today.
Oh, the
Not a
JFR Lunatic Habano. I have to
Oh,
look
that's
into that.
excellent.
Yeah, see what they're getting for that. Though those
That's
pen standards are good.
Yeah, they're great. All right, what else? What else is going on before we call this a night?
Oh my God, boy!
Oh, well, you know what? Do any of you guys have Netflix?
Yes.
There was an entertaining cartoon that just came out, a 6-series, brand new cartoon of Gamera
Oh, really?
that Joe
That's
messaged
one of
me
my
and said
favorite
it's
monsters.
Joe messaged me and said I must watch it. Each episode is 45 minutes. It's excellent.
Oh,
It's
yeah?
a great like kids cartoon of Gamera.
It's
but
called Gamera.
It's
Gamera.
Gamera. Yeah.
Okay, I'll check it out.
But it's excellent. It just you'll see it in Netflix. It'll say it just was released. There's 6 episodes, but it was great. It's
I think I
he
just
got
got a
stuff.
message for that.
He gets to fight a bunch of the fucking classic monsters. What's the monster that has the knife head, the blade?
Oh, Ghidra?
No, Ghidra's the
No, that's a
three-headed.
3-head. That's
So
oh fuck.
Garon, maybe. And then he fights Gauss, which is the bird. It looks like a pterodactyl. And then he fights he
Rodan.
fights all these different great ones.
Yeah, Giron.
Garon.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's great. It's a it's funny. You know, it's funny because you watch it and it's obviously a cartoon. Except sometimes when you watch the monsters fight, you're forgetting you're watching a cartoon. I'm like, oh, this is fucking great.
Well, if you want to do a list, I had an idea for a list.
Oh, yeah,
Music
7 minutes.
radars, 25 of the greatest guitar tones of all time.
Go ahead. You have 25 in. Yeah, that could be done in 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so I don't know if this is in any particular order. It starts off with number
Hey, did he freeze or did I?
1.
I think Crowbar did.
Oh, come on. It froze up.
Okay. I thought it was me. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay.
Number
Okay,
25.
Yeah, I froze up. Hang
Yeah,
on.
it keeps
for a
freezing
second.
up.
It's for some reason it froze up on me. Oh, come
Yeah,
on. This
you're-
one website I need to go to.
You're out of sync, Crowbar.
You're out of sync and everything.
Well,
I've been watching a lot of Devo
Yeah.
live from 1982.
Love
Yeah, she's
Devo.
out of sync and everything around me.
I like that
Except
song.
it keeps missing.
Chaco Homo. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow.
Am I still out of sync?
No, we
Yeah,
got
I should
you.
be
Go
back.
ahead.
Yeah, okay. For some reason, the page is loading and jammed up. Let me just close it out.
They tell us that we lost our tails, evolving up from little snails. I say it's all just wind and sails. Are we not men? We
Let's
are
try this one more
Devo.
What a shroom.
Are we not pins? Chaco Homo. Gong, 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 gong. We're pinheads are. What was that? That was a zipper.
That was a zipper.
That was my zipper. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time. If it
All right, one more time and then we'll.
okay, just let this page load before I
What
start.
am I
scrolling.
missing over here? Something looks like it's missing.
Okay, it's scrolling now. All righty. Now let me
You
get
now have 5 minutes.
25.
5 minutes.
You're motoring.
Yeah, we can.
Oh, here we go. My little Devo Fungo Pop.
What it is? There's a picture with every friggin' thing that.
I will never,
So-
ever own a Funko.
But it's Devo.
I don't care.
I actually own one.
this
just
one's
because I
Devo,
inherited it
too.
from my brother.
You know, it's funny that Devo said in an interview and Guitar Player a long time ago. They said we'd rather see a bunch of people doing calisthenics wearing jumpsuits and Devo hats than people wearing Van Halen shirts smoking a joint at a Van Halen concert.
Yeah, of course. They make more money one with the other way.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'd rather see.
is
Go
fucked.
ahead.
This
All
page is
right.
fucked. Just screw it.
All right, screw it.
All right. Jim, what do you got going on this week? Anything?
Oh, I got my Ebo Plus.
I saw
I'm gonna
that.
make some videos.
Wait,
Yeah,
does
I'm gonna
Bingham
be-
still have your guitar?
Yeah,
We are
yeah.
Ebo.
We are Ebo. EBOW.
When is your guitar going to be done?
I think that's why he pulled the plug on the DL show early because he wants to finish it.
Oh, all
Or
right.
maybe, yeah, he got the part. Yeah, so yeah, the thing was just completely fried out. You know, I tried to fix
Oh, I
it.
meant to ask him if Russ is still working for Ibanez. All right. What about you, Matt? Anything going on this week?
Just, the usual. Wife's leaving town. She's actually going to LA Saturday.
Oh, nice.
Going to be there
You
a
still
week.
live in LA, Matt?
No, I'm
He's in Florida.
I'm in Florida now. Fucking Florida.
Oh shit.
Hate it.
Dave, that's the guy I was telling you about. I was asking you, hey, whatever happened to the guy who used to come to the store and he trained jujitsu and different martial arts like
Oh,
Jeet
really?
Kune
That's
Do?
what you were talking about?
Yeah, that's who
Oh.
I was talking about.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Do you remember me now, Matt? I had much shorter hair then.
Okay. Yeah, I do.
Let's see that guitar.
Oh, you want to see this one?
Yeah, you were holding it up. What is it? It's an
It's
Ibanez.
an Ibanez. Yeah, I used acetone to clean it. It was like really rusted out, and it took the name right off.
Yeah,
So now I'm gonna put my own name here. Your name
there you
here.
go. Which
Yeah,
you're
this is
lucky your
stainless-
last name happens to
Stainless
be
steel
Ibanez.
fret. You know, I made my Fender acoustic into a fine because the lettering was all worn out, so I kept the F, the swooping F, and put fine in there.
Right. Finder.
That's all. That's all I got. That's all I got.
You should get a logo like see, I have like these Strat logos. I'll get one made up for you that says Finder. Like FEINDER.
I like that. That's hilarious.
The Finder Stratocaster.
Finders, keepers.
Right. All right.
awesome.
And Krill, what do you got going on? You smoking a cigar tonight, or you going to bed?
I'm going to bed. I
Yeah,
not really
boy.
don't have the wherewithal to really smoke at night during this.
Oh, it's. I thought it cleared up already. Is it still raining?
It did, but then I got to get the light out and
Right.
all that stuff. But yeah, I'll probably smoke a couple tomorrow.
Oh yeah, and for those who watched my live stream on Friday, that was my student's band. He plays slide and lead guitar in the Allman Brothers tribute band. The sound was terrible. I hope it came out actually better. Oh, that's right, Krell, you were with me. The phone made it sound actually better. In person, it was really bassy and MIDI. It was terrible. And the place is a beautiful venue.
Are you playing in that band, Dave?
Oh, not at all.
Yeah, the sound
no,
man
I was just watching. No, that's a it's an Allman Brothers band. I'm not a big Allman Brothers fan. I got to tell you.
I remember. We used to talk about.
I like them, but it's a jam band, and so I was telling him, like, his band. They spent too much time trying to please the audience of the real fans, and I said to him, "You really got to go after the casual listener. Make the long songs shorter." Get more of the hit songs in there, like Nowhere to Run, Crazy Love would be good. All those things, get those in there. And then, people want
Elizabeth Reed.
Liz, I mean, how long is fucking Liz Reed? The song is an hour and a half long.
20 minutes.
Right. No. I mean, by the end of the song, we're burying us all. It's too fucking long. And it's not interesting, especially when they run the diminished. I'm like, oh boy. Yeah. It goes from toe tapping to toe tapping.
No flow during the set. I mean, they had.
They're like a Grateful Dead type band. They like to stretch out and jam.
They did Dreams for how long? And then they did a quick song. Then they did Stormy Monday right after that. And that was another.
How long was Dreams?
It was like 20 minutes, and then a shorter song, like maybe like 7 minutes, and then it was like 15 minutes of Stormy Monday. That's what it felt like anyway.
Yeah. So anyways, but it was, I filmed it for him so he would have it. And I was like, well, if I'm going to film it for him, I may as well stream it. So that's why I streamed it. And
I'll check it out.
Check it out. It was cool. The band's cool. Like I said, I talked to him about all the problems I had with the band. And there was some music things. The light show there was fantastic. But anyways, we had a fun time. I might go meet Jerry tomorrow night for that open jam. Jerry goes to, and my friend Derek, they go to this open jam. So I might go do that tomorrow. But other than that, we're going to call this a night, guys. And I want to thank you for hanging. I want to thank everybody in the chat for hanging out with us tonight. And you guys want to say anything before you go?
Peace.
See you next week.
Probably can go down on Friday, see the Hurricane down at Beavertail.
All right. I don't know what that means. Is that a band, Hurricane?
No, Beavertail.
Is that a Neil Young tribute band?
Southernmost tip of Jamestown. That's my hangout there. So when hurricanes come by, I go there, watch the surf.
Nice. All right. Everybody in the chat, I want to thank you all for hanging out. If you're watching this as a replay, thank you for choosing Dave's Guitar Channel for all your bullshit needs. Very good.
Bullshit.